are now tuned in to my main man Dubs. If you want that garbage, go somewhere else. If you want that music that matters, he came to the right spot. Hey Dub, talk to him.
This is not for the weak-hearted. Ever since the beat started, the flow switched up from...
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. The CEO of Top Rank says that Anthony Joshua has no chin. If Ruiz can KO him, Pulev has a better chance. Okay. Top Rank, who provides Kubrat Pulev, firmly believes his fighter will knock Anthony Joshua out when they meet in the ring. Pulev will challenge Joshua for the IBF, the WBO, the WBA, and the IBO world titles on June 20th in London. Due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, there is a possibility that the date will be postponed to July 25th. Arum's company used to promote Andy Ruiz, who shocked the world back in 2019 when he stopped Joshua. In that fight, Ruiz was a massive underdog. He dropped Joshua 4 times and eventually stopping him in the 7th round. A rematch was held in December where Joshua outboxed him with his tactics and his boxing ability. And Bob Arum, from witnessing what he says that Ruiz was never a big puncher and he had trouble putting away low-level opponents inside the distance. So he believes Pulev, who Arum regards as a big puncher and better fighter, will stop Joshua. He says he has no chin. I knew Andy Ruiz prior to his fights with Joshua. Every one of Ruiz's fights except the one previous to the Alexander Dimitrico was promoted by us. So we are experts on Andy Ruiz. We know how good he is. We know he lacks. We know he has fast hands and a pretty good chin, but he is not a knockout guy. Bob Arum told IFL TV. Well, let me counterpunch this, guys. Let's look at what we have. We have another fighter of Bob Arum, Kubrat Pulev, which is regarded as a big puncher. He has a record of 1 loss. He's 6'4", 256 pounds, so he's a big boy, okay? This is no small peanuts, all right? 28 wins, 14 by KO. And, of course, he was destroyed by Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, now, and we know that Bob Arum is promoting this guy. Due to his record, he doesn't look like a big puncher, really. You know what I mean? Because to look at the people he's fought, he's beat some pretty decent guys. Samuel Peter out of his prime. He beat Derek Chisora. He lost, of course, to Vladimir Klitschko. He beat Tony Thompson, which was back in 2013. So Tony Thompson was coming out. He was leaving the sport at that time. Dimitrico, he KO'd in 11 rounds. Okay, so did Ruiz. And the rest of these guys, I don't know who they are. Okay, but if you look at his record, 28 wins, 14 by KO. That's only a 50% knockout ratio. Okay, really it's about 49 because he lost to Klitschko. All right, so about 49% knockout ratio. And compare that to Mr. Ruiz. He's 33 wins, 22 by knockout with 2 losses. Now, if I was going to ask you who had the best knockout percentage, it would be Andy Ruiz. So I don't really know what Bob Arum is really talking about, besides the automatic, obvious bias that Bob Arum has towards Andy Ruiz. Okay, this is typical of Bob Arum. Bob Arum said, hey, he's not a knockout guy, but Kubrat Pulev is not a knockout guy. Look at his ratio. You know what I mean? He hasn't knocked out even half of the people he's with. He's knocked out almost half of his opponents. Okay? Ruiz, on the other hand, he has 22 by knockout with 33 wins. 2 losses. Okay, so that right there should tell you that that's already off. All right, that is already off. So to talk about Andy Ruiz the way he is, oh, he didn't do anything, and he never was able to seal the deal with knocking out people. Well, neither was Kubrat Pulev. You know what I'm saying? And then when Kubrat did step up to that top echelon level, he got destroyed. Klitschko destroyed him in 5 rounds. That was a devastating beating. He got battered, people. Battered. I seen that fight not too long ago. And I was looking at it like, you know what I mean? But to say Joshua has no chin, you know, his primary statement, I would say this is a heavyweight division. You get caught right, you could be out of there. This is the heavyweights. That's why everything is so trivial. I mean, what's the word? One false move in the heavyweight division, one mistake could cost you the fight. That's what we know. It doesn't matter if it's Andy Ruiz, Kubrat Pulev, or anybody like that. Okay. Now I'm not saying that Kubrat Pulev can't crack. I'm not saying that. But to criticize Andy Ruiz's knockout percentage and then you compare it to Kubrat Pulev, that's a no-brainer. Andy Ruiz has knocked out more of his opponents than Kubrat Pulev has. So I don't know what Bob Arum is talking about. Besides, I feel the bitterness of Bob Arum, knowing that Andy got out of that contract and what he made of himself after he left Bob Arum. See, a fighter, like a promoter, you know, some of them, if they're bitter, they don't want to see you do good. You think Bob Arum expected Andy Ruiz to be the unified heavyweight champion of the world, the first one of Mexican descent to do that? No. Okay? And he's not going to give him props because he's not one of his fighters. Okay? That's what you ask yourself. Now, did you ask yourself this? Did he promote Andy Ruiz when he was with him the right way? That's another question you ask yourself. If he was doing that great of a promoter, why did Andy pay himself out of the contract? Just because he got a loss, you know, a close split decision loss, you're going to throw him down to the wayside? It's a good thing. It's a good reason that he did what he did. Okay, so you can't blame Andy Ruiz because I know this was an attack on 2 fighters that he has nothing to do with. Anthony Joshua, but Andy Ruiz. But once again, I think it's more targeted towards Andy Ruiz because he's just criticizing Andy Ruiz's knockout percentage, his ability. He does have flaws. Bob Arum is right about that. Okay? And a lot of times, if you're not taking the fight towards Andy Ruiz, what'll happen to Ruiz? He will plod. He has fast hands, good upper body movement, right? But he has cement feet. Okay? Fast hands and slow feet. That's that. And that's what we have. But to say the man, you know, he can't knock anybody out, he can't crack, and he has a higher percentage than your fighter, it's total BS. And that's my counterpunch on that, you know. But Bob Arum is right about this, something. He does have a shot. He has a puncher's chance. And the reason he has a puncher's chance, because he's a heavyweight. Okay? Any heavyweight can punch, any heavyweight can knock you out. This is the heavyweight division. That's what makes it so exciting. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Bob Arum's statements towards Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz and Kubrat Pulev. You guys, please subscribe. Let me know what you think. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.